Yes, sir.
Push people out of your life who you thought you needed because we can't do it ourselves. Sometimes he has to let friends forsake you. Sometimes he has to let family members not understand you. Sometimes he has to make your spouse leave you because he has something greater for you. After praying each time, the text says that he came back to check on his friends and they were asleep. After all he did for them, the time when he needed them the most, they were asleep. I am increasingly coming to the point to believe that God ordains such moments where he allows the very things that we thought we could hold, that could hold us up, he allows them to go to sleep. What is it that you've been counting on the most that God has allowed to go to sleep? When things in your life are getting tough, you have to get along with God so he can tell you that trouble doesn't last always. You have to get along with God so he can tell you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. You have to get along with God so he can tell you that to just hold on just a little while longer, and everything will be all right. You have to get along with God so he can tell you that my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but totally lean on Jesus' name. The second thing we have to understand about this text is that it was a humble prayer. The first thing we have to understand is the posture of Jesus. You see, his posture is different from any other time we see Jesus. The typical Jewish prayer posture of the day was standing with eyes open and lifted to heaven. But here Jesus kneels. He kneels to reflect his humility and his urgency. You see, when we humble ourselves before God, it helps us to understand he who is greater. Tradition said that he had to pray a certain way. I believe that if the leaders of that day would have saw him praying in Gethsemane, they would have been upset. But aren't you glad that God showed us something in this text? He showed us that we should not let tradition dictate how we should worship or pray to him, but let our relationship and the needs of communication from our God dictate how we pray. You see, Luke says he knelt, but another evangelist says he fell on his face to the point where dust covered his head. I believe you will come to the point where all you can do is cry out to God and say, I give. You will come to the point where you say, I tried it my way and it didn't work, and now I'll turn it to you. You see, humility makes you break down and say, Lord, if you don't step in right now, I don't know what I'm going to do. If you don't come through for me, I'm going to go back to the things I used to do. I need you, God. I need you right now. You see, while Jesus was struggling with this weight that was on him, his friends fell asleep. The Pharisees wanted to kill him. And one of the 12 that he recruited was on his way to betray him. Everything was mounting up against him, and the pressure of the garden was rising. But then he says something peculiar. He says, my Father. Most traditions say Abba, which means daddy or dad. It is a term of endearment signifying a relationship that is intensely personal. It is a term that we use when we are desperate. Imagine Jesus having all of the sins of mankind from Adam until now on his shoulders. Imagine all the sins that you have committed on his shoulders. Imagine the sins that you thought about committing but you didn't commit that's on his shoulders. You see, he had suffering on his mind. He had sacrifice on his mind. He had the separation between him and his daddy on his mind. And the only thought that brought him comfort was daddy. I can remember as a little kid, whenever I would get in trouble, I would call on my daddy. Whenever I felt like I couldn't handle a situation, I would call on him. I didn't call on mama. Mama was always there, but it's something about when daddy stands up for me. You see, while under this Garden of Gethsemane, he said, my daddy. This is not some regular man. This is the Lord of Lords, and this is the King of Kings. This is Jesus who turned water into wine. This is Jesus who spoke and allowed a dead man to become alive. This is Jesus who spit on dirt and then he was able to heal a blind man. You don't understand today. This is Jesus. You see, when you are at your breaking point, who is it that you call on? There's somebody in here today that needs to fall on their knees and humble themselves and say, Daddy, I need you. There's somebody that needs to stop trying to handle the problems by yourself.
Yes.
There's somebody that needs to say, Daddy, I'm tired of holding on to this thing that has me bound.
Yes.
Daddy, I need you to fix my insecurities.
All right.
I need you to fix my marriage. I need you to fix my mind and keep it stayed on you.